Mansa Musa, the 14th century African king of Mali Empire, is widely considered the richest person to have ever lived. Musa Kinte I was the ninth Mansa of the Mali Empire. The empire stretched across 2,000 miles from the Atlantic Ocean to Lake Chad, and which included all or parts of the northern nations of Mauritania, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Gambia, Senegal, and Chad. Musa I came into power in 1312 after the previous king, Abubakar II, disappeared at sea. Mansa Abubakar II had departed on a large fleet of ships to explore the Atlantic Ocean and never returned. Upon crowning, he was given the name Mansa, which means king. He was knowledgeable in Arabic and was described as a Muslim traditionalist. At the time of his appointment, Mali was already a wealthy kingdom, but his work in expanding trade made Mali the wealthiest kingdom in Africa. His riches came from mining significant gold and salt deposits in the Mali kingdom. Elephant ivory was also a major source of wealth. The Empire of Mali was home to so much gold, the kingdom itself was not well known. This was until 1327 when Mansa Musa decided to go on a pilgrimage to Mecca, passing through the Sahara Desert in Egypt. He began his pilgrimage with an entourage of thousands of escorts. Arab writers from the time said he traveled with an entourage of tens of thousands of richly dressed servants and supporters and dozens of camels, each carrying 300 pounds of gold. The size of his caravan was so astonishing that it was described as a city passing through the deserts. Mansa Musa made generous donations along the journey to the poor and charitable organizations, as well as the rulers of the land the entourage crossed. On his stop in Cairo, Egypt, the emperor gave out so much gold that he accidentally generated a decline in the value of gold in Egypt for over a decade. The journey reportedly took over a year, and by the time Mansa Musa returned, tales of his amazing wealth had spread to the ports of the Mediterranean. He became the first Muslim ruler in West Africa to make the nearly 4,000-mile journey to Mecca. Upon his return from Mecca, Mansa Musa brought Arab scholars, government bureaucrats, and architects from the Middle East and across Africa. Among those who returned with him was the renowned architect Ishaq al-Tuwaijin, who introduced advanced building techniques to Mali. He designed numerous buildings for the emperor, including a new palace named Madagwe, the mosque at Gao, the second largest city in Mali, and the mosque named Dinchugorabam, located in the largest city, Timbuktu. The library and Saqqara University built in Timbuktu attracted scholars from throughout the Muslim world. Timbuktu had become the headquarters of Islamic intellectual development in Africa. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage boosted Islamic education in Mali by adding mosques, libraries, and universities. The awareness of Musa by other Islamic leaders brought increased commerce and scholars, poets, and artisans, making Timbuktu the headquarters of Islamic intellectual development in Africa. The Catalan Atlas, one of the most important medieval atlases, created in 1375 by the Spanish cartographer, shows West Africa denoted by a depiction of Mansa Musa sitting on a throne, holding a nugget of gold in one hand and a golden staff in the other. At the publication of this atlas, Mansa Musa became cemented in the global imagination as a figure of stupendous wealth. Mansa Musa died in 1337 after a 25-year reign and was succeeded by his son Magan I. His skillful administration left his empire well off at the time of his death, but eventually the empire fell apart. Well, after his death, Mansa Musa remains ingrained in the imagination of the world as a symbol of fabulous wealth. However, his riches are only one part of his legacy, as he is also remembered for his Islamic faith, promotion of scholarship, and patronage of culture in Mali.